So many different times in my life, I've played with broken or hurt things, broken foot, broken leg, broken hand, broken arm, broken sternum, broken collarbone. I could keep going if I just thought more about bones. Why, man? Because I loved it. I loved playing the game. I was passionate about it. One of the reasons I even get encouraged at seeing all of you here. Do you know why I get encouraged by that? Is because you could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you. And they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zuttner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women. 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks. I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Now we here.
Arthur, in your career, in your life really, you have battled severe curvature of the spine.
Correct.
Scoliosis, the physical pain that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad left you for age 13 to 18 for all practical purposes. Your mom was so drunk at night that you really had to raise yourself.
Yeah.
She's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
How have you been able to maintain positivity through that adversity?
Well, I think that for me, I didn't want to sit there and dwell in that negativity. And so I was constantly looking for what is the shining light out there? What's next? How do I get out of this? Frankly, it stunk being in that environment. So it was one of those, how do I get out of here as fast as I can? You know, and so that was the big thing for me, is that it was really about what am I going to focus on? I can focus on everything there and be unhappy, or I can take a look at what do I have that I like.
Former CEO of Chrysler, this guy here, he says he helped save the company from bankruptcy. His name is Lee Iacocca.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the story probably, but he famously said, in times of great stress or adversity, it's always best to keep busy, to plow your anger and your energy into something positive.
Mm-hmm.
Plow your anger or your energy. Did you ever do that?
I did. It was mainly into practical jokes when I was younger, or just doing other things. I was kind of always a kid that was looking for something. I wanted more, and I didn't have it. In fact, we were real poor. We would get government aid, and I remember I would go around and wash people's cars, like in our neighborhood. And so I would go and wash their car, and I would find that I could just take my bucket and the hose and carry it there and wash, their cars. And if I wanted to do something, I would spend all day on Saturday washing their cars, just going down the list. And I don't know if they felt sorry for me or what, but I would raise enough money to do what I wanted. And I remember,
that motivated you.
It did. I wanted to be able to have some of the things that I wanted, and my family, it wasn't there.
So how do you motivate yourself? I mean, there's this whole thing about, I see people all the time, and I used to be one of those people, and motivated. I am pumped. I just saw Tony Robbins on TV. I just read a good book. I saw Braveheart. Braveheart, for some reason, when they rip his stomach out, I'm pumped up. I'm like, yeah, freedom, yeah, I'm running around, freedom, and then next day I'm like, freaking freedom, who cares? But how do you stay positive? How did you do that?
Well, one of the things I found is when there is something that motivates me, if I can go and put that in the practice as fast as I can, it makes a difference. So, for example, I was at a men's conference a few weeks ago, and I wasn't planning on going. Somebody invited me, and I felt guilty not going, and so I went. And I remember thinking, this is kind of entry-level entrepreneurism, But there was something that the gentleman said, and I remember writing the notes down. And I literally ran back to Chick-fil-A and sat down with the manager and said, look at this, what do you think? And so I immediately got some signs made, and by the end of the day, I got it in place. So then the very next day, it was up and in motion.
So for you, it's taking the practical idea and putting it into motion as soon as possible. That helps you keep motivation.
Absolutely, because otherwise, the next day when you're worn out, you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't remember the details. I don't remember what it is.
I always say that, procrastination leads to, basically frustration, which then ultimately leads to lack of motivation. I think
Absolutely.
The opposite's true. I mean, if you act upon it right away, you get that sense of momentum.
Yeah.
So in your mind, why are a lot of people unable to motivate themselves? Why are a lot of entrepreneurs out there watching here? Why are a lot of people watching this right now unable to motivate themselves?
Well, I think one of the keys is, what are you using as a tool to motivate yourself? For example, coming from not having a lot of money, having a lot of money was a big deal to me. I remember literally on my way home and knowing that there wasn't a whole lot of food in the house when I was younger, and stopping at a restaurant and just seeing the people inside the glass and they were sitting there eating. I was like, man, that would sure be nice to get something to eat. I was like, I never want to be in that position again. Right. And even to this day, there's times when I'll be walking down a street, or like if I'm on vacation or something, and I'll have that smell come back, whether it was a nice steak being cooked or something at a nice restaurant, and I see them in the glass, and those emotions come back to me, and I go, I remember being in that position, but I never wanted that, that feeling again.
Napoleon Hill, the success author, who was a personal assistant of late great Andrew Carnegie, the world's wealthiest man, and then did a lot of neat things with his life. He says that every adversity has the seed of an equivalent benefit. Again, every adversity has the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. What does that mean?
What that means to me is that there is always something to learn in every adversity. If nothing else, it's you can learn, I never want to get in that situation again, period. But there's always something in there that you can learn, and if you're looking for it, if you just want to dwell in that, you can sit there and dwell in it as long as you want to. But if you want to say, you know what, I want the next level, look at that situation and say, what can I learn from that? So I can either not repeat it or I can move forward.
Now, it's easy for outsiders to think that someone with your success is somehow lucky. You've somehow earned success. You didn't really earn it. You just got it. It just happened to you. Like, you're in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. 3 statements I hear all the time drive me crazy. Well, it takes money to make money. The rich get richer. It'd be easy if I was just in that situation. Mm-hmm. So people were able to kind of dismiss that. How, though, have you been successful up to this point? How have you done it on a daily basis, bro? What time do you wake up?
I usually get up about 6 o'clock, sometimes 5:30 or 5. It depends on what I got to get done that day.
Most days, do you wake up at 6?
Most days I wake up before 6.
Before 6?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, for one, it's quiet in my house, and it gives me an opportunity to get things started. Because, well, for one, I have 6 kids.
Yeah.
And getting 6 kids ready for school is, that right there, I should get an Emmy or something for that.
Yeah.
Or a baby or whatever. I already have babies, never mind.
You should get a baby.
I got plenty of babies. That's the problem. So, it is a chore getting 6 kids ready for school. But on top of that, I get up early to get things accomplished so that the momentum as we go into the day, it really kind of gets me going on where I need to be.
In the spirit of one-upsmanship, I have 5 kids and you have 6, so you've one-upped me there. And I think there's a lot of people I know, they say, well, I could never have a business because I've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
2 little devils. They're 13 and Satan, How old are your kids?
My youngest one is 8 and my oldest one is 17.
But yet you're still able to get your stuff done.
Yes.
Okay, but it's tough sometimes. I mean, sometimes,
It's because I'm lucky and they just wake up themselves and go ahead and start doing everything and cleaning. And the dogs don't poop on the carpet.
So how have you been able to battle through adversity when life doesn't seem fair, when it doesn't make sense? How have you been able to battle through?
Well, for one, you got to make the time. Okay? There's times as an entrepreneur that if you need to stay up all night long to get it done, you got to stay up all night long to get it done.
I want to say that today I woke up at 3 in the morning. What happened was I had a really, really cool outline of questions to ask you. And when I was getting ready for my David Robinson meeting, I've got this MacBook Pro. And Mac's a great computer. I'm sure it's something I did wrong. It's a great brand. But all of a sudden it's
shameless promotion there.
Shameless. But all of a sudden my computer locks up. It freezes. Now I have to get the computer replaced or fixed or something. And I'm going, where are those questions? So last night I went to bed at 10 and I told my wife, I'm gonna wake up like at 2. If I don't, punch me in the face. And so I wake up like at 2 to get ready. And then the day before something happens, I wake up at 4. And I start looking back and I'm like, pretty much 4 to 5 is kind of when I wake up there. But I'm happy. I love the result. And I just would challenge anybody watching this, if you're like, well, I just don't have enough time. I would ask you, what time are you going to bed? What time are you getting up? How much TV do you watch today, bro?
I watch on average probably an hour a week, maybe.
An hour a week?
Maybe. And normally it's recorded shows.
You're not very diligent. You're watching too much.
Apparently I'm not dead. Is that what it is? So one of the things I tell people when they tell me that is, do you have a record of your time? I will actually, when people ask me to coach them, I'll sit down with them and say, I want you to map out your entire day. Every minute, every hour, and what you do. That exercise alone shows people how much time they waste throughout the day that they didn't even think about.
Yeah. I will tell you, as a person who used to waste a ton of time, one of the things I used to do is I make cold calls. And I used to be like, well, my phone has to be right here. I was in this apartment. We couldn't afford air conditioning. My wife, poor lady, would go off to Office Depot to work thinking that I'm working. And I'm sitting there with my home-based business with my phone, my pencils, my paper, my list, and then I'll be like, I'm going to get a sandwich. I'm going to get a coffee. I'm going to get a coffee and a sandwich. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I never really work much. And so it sounds like we were saying a lot of times is where you're using your time, just accounting for your time.
Exactly.
Now, also, every successful entrepreneur that I've ever met seems like they either learn from mentors or mistakes. Who is a mentor currently that is helping you to become more successful, or somebody in recent history that's helped you become successful?
Well, Dan Cathy is one of my mentors. He may not know it. Dan Cathy is currently the president of Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
And Truett Cathy is a founder of Chick-fil-A, and I've for years before he kind of moved on as just the founder, when he was the president, he was one of my mentors as well.
How can somebody mentor you and not know it?
It was pretty easy, because I'm a stalker.
Really? Do we want to edit that out? Or walk me through what you mean by that.
Okay. So, first of all, well, I say that jokingly because people come to me all the time and say, they'll make comments about Facebook and they'll say, oh, I follow you on Facebook all the time, and I call them Facebook stalkers.
And you're like, yeah, I'm in Dan Cathy's account. I've got his passwords, bro.
So one of the things is that I will, when I can, meet with them.
Okay.
One time I bought Truett Cathy for a weekend.
Really?
I wanted to spend a weekend with him, and they were trying to raise money for Windshake Foundation for Chick-fil-A, and so I bought him for a weekend, and I paid quite a bit of money for him. And I remember some of my other owner friends.
How much money?
You can't tell anyone, but it was like $10,000.
To rent them for a weekend?
Yep. So, and there was no massages or anything, so I might have got chipped, but it was an amazing weekend. So I took my 10-year-old son with me at the time, and I wanted him to have experience with Truett. And one of the guys told me, my friends, he was like, "Why would you spend that much money on him? You got suckered, man." And I told him, you know, Truett's not going to be here forever. But I want to not only spend time with him to learn from him now, but I also want my son to spend time with him.
You spent $100,000 to hang out, or not $100,000, but $10,000 to hang out with your boss?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Now, I want to, I mentioned this is huge.
You and I have never talked about this before.
I haven't. This is an epiphany. Now, so how important is it in your mind for every entrepreneur to have a mentor?
Absolutely.
You have to?
If you don't have a mentor in your life, a mentor can get you where you want to go faster. You can overcome hurdles. It's pivotal.
One thing I've discovered a lot of times is like I go to bed. I go to bed, and
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, it's weird. But I go to bed like usually around like 10 ski, right? Try to go about 10. Well, the other night, 7 o'clock, a young man, sends me a message, and it's a message I want to respond to at 7 o'clock. Well, I've already gone to bed because I got to get up at 2, And like the one thing about the Thrive experience that I hope people will love is that it's like a mentor 24 hours a day.
Absolutely.
Because I have to go to sleep and I've got to try to procreate, and do different things like that, and just a lot of things I'm doing. But anyway, but this is what's really great about Thrive is you can log on 24 hours a day and have access to people and different perspectives and different experts. I think that's exciting. So,
I think that's so important, even for your mentors. If you just have one person that's a mentor in your life, you're going to get their perspective. And I know Clifton Talbert's a mentor here, but a number of years ago I started to get to know him too, and he was one of those that I value what he says. And his views versus Truett Cathy's are totally different because of the different backgrounds they have.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to not just have one, but the more mentors you can have in your life, surround yourself with them.
Define mentor for me, if I'm kind of like, I don't know what a mentor is.
Well, to me, it's somebody that has been there before, somebody who has done it before, hopefully successful. Actually, if you have a mentor that's not successful, that's not going to serve you. But
you don't recommend a super huge personal trainer or a super poor financial investment coach?
Well, if it's you mean no.
No. Okay. So now,
what was going through my mind was like a real buff, trainer. I was like, why wouldn't you want a big buff trainer? But then that's not what you meant.
I mean,
you meant somebody that's like
a guy with a high
shaped like a circle. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Pretty clear.
You've had some famous and rich mentors throughout your career. What do you recommend as the step-by-step process? If I'm watching right now and I'm like, I'm going to go get one. I'm going to get myself a little Truett Cafe for the weekend. I want to get a little George Foreman in my life. What is the process? Because I know you have a process.
Yep. First of all, the key, and this is where everybody gets hung up on it, you got to ask. It's that simple. You have to ask, and you have to figure out a way to ask, okay? They may or may not say yes or no. One thing is make it convenient for them. There was one gentleman that I wanted to meet, and I said, I will go anywhere, anytime. You just tell me where, and I'll be there. The other thing is that if you're getting stuck at the gates with a gatekeeper, then you got to figure a way to get around it. I mean, I've literally, when I wanted to meet with somebody one time, I had heard online that it was their birthday, so I mailed them some ice cream. An entire plastic container of ice cream in the mail. And I sent it to him, and he said it arrived, and it saw it on the desk, and somebody said there's a package, and he said, okay, just leave it there until he heard it slosh. Because I didn't do it overnight. I just did regular mail. And so he was like, what in the world? And he saw my name on there. He goes, what is this? So he opened it up, and I said, I heard it's your birthday, and I heard you love chocolate ice cream, and here's some chocolate ice cream. And I said, but by the time you get this, here's a straw. Enjoy. And that was enough for him to go, I better call this guy. So he called me, and I said, you know what, I'd love to sit down and meet with you, and I'll bring you some real ice cream.
So let's review those rules. One is you basically have to ask them.
Yeah.
2, you have to make it convenient for them, whatever you're asking for. And then 3rd, you have to find a way to get around that gatekeeper or somehow get to them.
Not just that, but there's probably lots of people asking. So how are you different than every other person that comes, and that multi-level marketing guy that walks in and says, I want this guy's time, and so this guy doesn't know who you are. So how are you going to get around that?
And you can't do streaking. You couldn't streak. I mean, that's not a way to be memorable.
Well, you would certainly be memorable.
Might not get a meeting with the mentor, though.
Probably not.
Okay, just
Well,
asking. There's a lot of people who want to know that question.
It depends on the mentor.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. And let's just remember when reaching out to a mentor, don't go streaking unless that's the kind of mentor you're going for.
Absolutely.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. During the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, 2024, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. Yes, folks, put it in your calendar. This December, the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business growth workshop. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow is going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to learn branding, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn search engine optimization, you want to learn social media marketing, that's what we teach at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. If you want to learn accounting, you want to learn sales systems, you want to learn how to build a linear workflow, you want to learn how to franchise your business, that is what we teach at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to feature Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. We've had the top PR consultant in the history of the planet has spoken at the Thrivetime Show workshops. We've had Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, a company that creates apparel worn by celebrities all throughout the world. Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, has spoken at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshops. We have had the man who's responsible for turning around Harley Davidson, a man by the name of Ken Schmidt. He has spoken at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops. Folks, I'm telling you, these events are going to teach you what you need to know to start and grow a successful business. And the way we price the events, the way we do these events, is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes! We've designed these events to be affordable for you, and we want to see you live and in person at the 2-day interactive December 5th and 6th Thrivetime Show Business Workshop. Everything that you need to succeed will be taught at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Workshop, December 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way we do these events is we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a question and answer session so that wonderful people like you can have your questions answered. Yes, we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a 15-minute question and answer session. It's interactive. It's 2 days. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been doing these events since 2005, and I'm telling you, folks, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop is America's highest rated and most reviewed business workshop. See the thousands of video testimonials from real people just like you who've been able to build multi-million-dollar companies. Watch those testimonials today at thrivetimeshow.com. Simply by clicking on the testimonials button right there at thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of people just like you who've been able to go from just surviving to thriving. Whoa. Each and every day, we're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup, but I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company.
Yep.
You start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrivetime Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
Well, first of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, "Have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad?" And I said, "No." And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, "I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this."
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.